I don't have to tell you that the 40k universe is not a paradise. Well, unless you're into the whole eternal war and slaughter thing, then yes, it is a paradise. But as the saying goes, with war comes innovative psychopaths that design horrifying weapons for everybody. How's that relevant? Well, today I'll be talking about the class-specific weapons usable in Darktide. And if you know 40k, you know this will be Geneva's nightmare. Now, as per usual, there are some things to clarify. 1. This is a general summary of each weapon family. This is for beginners who are starting out or haven't bought the game yet and have no idea of what does what. If you have anything to add, feel free to do so down in the comments. 2. The tips you will hear are based on my personal experience. You are free to heed or ignore them as you will if it does not suit your playstyle. 3. If you didn't see a weapon in this video, chances are Fatshark added it in after this video came out. With all that being said, let's get on with the video. The good old reliable for the grunts. It may seem goofy, but this weapon family really shines in horde control and horde clearing. But for me, I use it for the sound effect. I mean, can you keep a straight face when you hear that? The original Mark 1 has a high stagger stab as a special, while the Mark 3 and 7 unfolds the shovel spike for a devastating high damage hit. The Mark 1 is extremely beginner friendly. I highly recommend for newbies as an introduction for melee and to learn how to crowd control. Just bring something else for a carapace mob. This can handle maybe 1 or 2, but you will not survive 10 without great skill. Blessing wise, Thrust is great for any mark, while Trauma and Skull Crusher is a good combo. The cream of the crop in the 40k setting and a meta weapon for veterans in game. The Power Sword is considered the best at horde clearing and armor killing for the veteran. The special for both mark is activating the power field on the blade, allowing it to go through carapace like a hot knife through butter and really amplifies the damage. While a power-up swing can kill most of the enemies with a body hit, I recommend aiming for the head for maximum damage. Currently, the Mark III is the most beginner-friendly with wide horizontal light and heavy combos, so get that first. Blessing-wise, Power Cycler is a must since it allows for more energized hits, while Brutal Momentum is highly recommended for faster horde clearing. As the first power weapon the Zealot class can get, it is a heavy two-handed club with the same power activation special as the Power Sword. Activate and hit something for a lot of damage. The energized hit will cause a mini explosion that knocks nearby heretics off their feet. It has high stagger so it can open up bulwarks with one powered hit. If you have been on Reddit and such, you will know this weapon was nicknamed the Cotton Swab in the early days due to it pushing rather than killing even poxwalkers, but that has been mostly solved. It is pretty much built for horde control with good light combos and okay heavy combos for armor. Blessing wise, Skull Crusher is a must, and it can be paired with Trauma for quick stagger build-up and killing. Otherwise, Opportunist is fine as well. There it is, folks, the Warhammer of Warhammer 40k fame.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, lame jokes aside, what is a Thunderhammer? Well, it's a big old hammer with a energy field emitter. Basically the same shtick as the Crusher, but with one big difference. Damage. When you activate the special, the next hit you deliver is guaranteed to take chunks off of someone's health. Be it bosses, mini-bosses, or specials. If they're not limping before, the Thunderhammer will make sure they are limping after. And with the right builds, blessings, and skills, you can even one-shot Demon Host. In the damage department, there is none that can top a Thunderhammer. But that's not to say it's perfect. While killing something in one swing is great, the heretics don't exactly line up to get bonked one by one. Horde control wise, the hammer can deal with a certain level, but if the horde gets too big, that's when things get tricky. Plus, if a powered up swing connects, your weapon will recoil back, leaving you vulnerable for a split second. While this isn't a problem under peaceful circumstances, using the special while you have multiple ragers on you isn't the best idea. For beginners, I highly recommend the Crucius Mark II to start with due to the horizontal heavy combo. It is great for horde clearing. Just make sure you're swinging head high. Blessing wise, Thrust is pretty much foolproof. Other than that, Shock and Awe and Momentum is good for survivability in a horde clearing and ambush situation. If you assume this is a two-handed chainsword, you are both correct and wrong. With longer reach and more cleave, the heavy eviscerator can clear a horde faster than a standard chain sword, and with the right blessings, it can turn you into a melee tank. And as with other chain weapons, the special revs the engine on your eviscerator for some good old sawing action. But despite it being great at clearing hordes, it does have a downside, which is the slow swing speed. And as always, taking on a mob of carapace foes is not advisable. Currently, the most beginner-friendly mark is the Tigress Mark 15 with its horizontal light combos, so grab that if you can. Blessing-wise, Savage Sweep pairs well with Rampage for a quick horde clearing. If you crave survivability, Momentum and Savage Sweep will help with that. Otherwise, I recommend Bloodletter and rev it up for a quick zoomy playstyle. Something the devs introduced in the Grim Protocol update, it is a two-handed power sword with an interesting twist to the special mechanic. As per usual, the weapon itself excels in damage and horde clear, but are slow on the swing and movement side of things. But the real gem is the special. Typical power weapons permits you to deal 1, maybe 2 hits at most before the weapon short circuits. But with the Relic blade, there is a meter that is empty by default. When you activate the special, the power field switches on for a set period, turning the hunk of sharpened plasteel in your hand into a lightsaber. But be warned, the meter I mentioned earlier will slowly fill up the moment you activate the special, and it acts as a sort of a heat/timer. If it maxes out, the power field turns off and you have to wait for the meter to empty completely before using the special again. But other than that, the weapon is a really good addition to the Zealot's arsenal. Hell, the special is so good that a sizable group of players has asked Fatshark to change the Veteran's Power Sword special to this instead. In all aspects, it can deal with anything the game can throw at you. Well, everything except mini-bosses and bosses. It won't delete them like the Thunderhammer would. Other than that, a big enough horde will result in you taking a few hits, but that's neither here nor there. For beginner-friendly marks, I suggest getting the Mark 10 for a relatively versatile light combo and a good heavy combo. Blessing-wise, Cranial Grounding is generally considered the best if you like to spam the special. Otherwise, Heatsink can also serve in a pinch. For me, I take Rampage because I like the extra cleave. While other classes need carefully crafted power weapons to do some damage, the Psyker has something that amplifies their own potential. Meet the Blaze Force Sword, a one-handed versatile weapon family that uses the warp to butcher heretics. There are 3 marks: the single target focus Obscurus Mark II, the horde mowing Heresy Mark V, and the versatile Deimos Mark IV. Each mark has their do's and don'ts, but all of them are tied to your peril meter. The special is tied to your peril. Using it will add peril, and the reload button vents it. Effects-wise, when you hit someone with the Obscurus and Deimos special, you'll force push them away, inflicting some damage while doing so. Meanwhile, the Heresy special is the same as a normal power sword. A major damage boost with increased cleave for 1 hit. Which you really use depends on what you want. Obscurus for single targets, Heresy's for horde clearing, and Deimos if you want to be versatile. The only downside for all 4 swords is that spamming the special will increase your peril by a huge amount. That and the fact that Obscurus and Deimos special has the same lash-on effect as a chain weapon, so doing that while in a horde is not advisable. Blessing-wise, the Flector really helps out when dealing with shooters. Secondly, Exorcist is great if you like to spam the specials, or if you like to use your warp powers in general. Otherwise, Riposte and Precognition is good if you like to dodge a lot. Another weapon introduced in the Grim Protocol update. You might assume it's a reskin of the Relic blade with some replaced mechanics, and you're both right and wrong. Movement-wise, it's similar to the Relic blade. Slow but heavy, cleaves through pockfuckers like butter, and the special really plays into the Psyker's power fantasy. See, when you activate the special, you imbue some power into the blade and you can unleash a power/wave. On its own, it doesn't do anything, but that's where the meter comes into play. Think of it as your damage meter. The more it fills up, the more damage your /wave will cause. You fill the meter by killing something with the greatsword's normal attacks. The bigger the kill, the better. On empty, your slashes does nothing. Maybe some knockbacks, but mostly nothing. On half full, the slash will clear a horde of chaff in front of you. On full meter, be ready for a spectacle of bisected body parts. It is a horde clearing beast in the hands of a good player, and believe me, in higher difficulties, you are never short on heretics to kill. The only downside I can think of is the same as other greatswords: slow swings and carapace mobs. Blessing-wise, momentum can help keep you alive as a Psyker. Plus, Deflector really helps when you're facing a lot of shooters, which comes with higher difficulties. And as always, Murderous Tranquility is good if you like to spam psychic abilities. The first usable weapon for Ogryns, it is a versatile one-handed club made from scrap Brunt managed to get his hands on. Bless him. The special for all marks is a open palm slap, good for staggering, well, pretty much anything really, or if you want to giggle. Oh, and you can chain that slap to really knock human-sized enemies around. It's kind of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none weapon for Ogryns since it doesn't really specialize against any specific foe, but I guess that's also why it is so versatile to begin with. The most beginner-friendly mark, in my opinion, is the Mark 3B Brunt's Basher, with a mostly horizontal light and heavy combo for mob clearing. Plus, the stagger is so high you could use it against carapace foes without much issue. The only problem you will face are shooters, bulwarks, and monstrosities, but you'll have something else for that, right? Blessing-wise, Confident Strike and Momentum is recommended for survivability in a horde. Other than that, Skull Crusher is good for faster crowd clearing, but remember to get the Slam skill to do some real damage. If you like to see body parts fly, this is the weapon to use. As the name suggests, it is an Ogryn-sized one-handed knife that can and does mulch human enemies thanks to its damage buff against unarmored enemies. Every mark can do the job, but some marks are better suited for specific foes. For example, the Mark IV is good against carapace because the light combo has 2 stabs that mostly ignores carapace, while the Mark III can mince hordes with its light combos. But with practice, each mark can handle whatever Nurgle can throw at you. Well, except for monstrosities and demon host. The special is an uppercut that can stagger almost everything in game, so combo it with the heavy attacks will be beneficial against carapace. Currently, the most beginner-friendly cleaver is the Mark III since you'll be dealing with human enemies most of the time. Blessing-wise, Savage Sweep is good for improved horde clearing. Otherwise, the Tenderizer Blessing can be beneficial if you like to spam the special. Personally, I pair Savage Sweep with Momentum for survivability and horde clearing. Oh man, where do I start with this? If you have been paying attention to the game's history, this is a rather controversial weapon to put it mildly. It is, at the time of this recording, the only power weapon available to the Ogryn class. To put it simply, it is a two-handed Ogryn-sized bat. Special-wise, it is the same as the Zealot's Crusher. Power up and whack for extra damage and stagger for anyone close by. The heavy combo is good for horde clearing while the light combo is versatile enough for most enemies. But that's all the positive things I can say about this thing. Since the Ogryn rework, the power maul has gotten better, but it's not great. The special animation is slow windup for heavy attacks, and the fact that you need to customize your build around the weapon to bring out its full potential makes the power maul a niche weapon at best. Plus, it cannot deal with too much carapace. 1 or 2, that's fine. A patrol of bulwarks or crushers? Unless you have an Ogryn frag, you're on your way to Big E, my friend. Now don't get me wrong, if you can make it work, by all means use it. But for me, it's just too build dependent. As a weapon, other melee weapons felt natural, while the power maul, unless I have the correct build, I'm just pushing enemies around instead of killing them. Blessing wise, brutal momentum really helps with crowd clearing if you use the heavy combo and aim head height. Besides that, Skull Crusher can help with killing stuff faster. While not required, Power Surge is recommended if you're going into higher difficulty maps, since there will be a lot of carapace. Something introduced in the Secrets of the Machine God update, this Ogryn-sized pickaxe has quickly become the favorite for a lot of players due to it being very versatile. The special varies between each mark. The Carsolas and Borovian has you hook and pull the enemy in, staggering them and open them up to a devastating strike down, while the Branks have you thrust at the enemy with the axe head, potentially staggering them. Like the cleaver, each mark is geared towards different enemy types. Having trouble with carapace? Get the Bronx. Need to weed whack hordes? Carsolas is your answer. Want to be dynamic? Borovian is your pick. The only downside I could think of is your character's movement speed. Even on full sprint, you're still slower than the regular humans. While using this weapon, it is best to let the enemy come to you. Currently, the most beginner-friendly mark is the Carsolas Mark II with its horde-deleting light combos. No thoughts, just swing. But honestly, use whichever suits your playstyle. Blessing-wise, for survivability, go with Confident Strike and Slow and Steady. For general purpose duties, Wrath and Headtaker is the way to go. And if you really want to kill something quickly, I suggest Thrust and Thunderous. A love child of the Cleaver and the Bully Club, the Latrine Shovel is a versatile tool in the hands of a good player. It has the same story as the veteran's Sapper Shovel, one on release and 2 more added in a later update. Heck, it even has the same special unfolding mechanic. The special, as you have guessed, is different between the OG and the 2 folding ones. The OG Mark III has a high stagger uppercut, while the latter Mark V and 19 unfolds the shovel down for a high damage strike down. In terms of being user-friendly, the Mark 19 has a good horde clearing light combo and a single target heavy combo for beefier targets. As a weapon, the Latrine Shovel is really good against hordes, but also have the special to make short work of carapace foes. The only weakness it has that I can think of are the short reach and large amount of carapace really. Blessing wise, Brutal Momentum and Thrust are my go-to blessing for general purpose killing, but if you want to kill something faster, Thrust and Thunderous are the way to go. Currently, the biggest problem as an Ogryn is the lack of cover during firefights. Despite me dancing around the combat zone like a ballerina, I still occasionally get downed by excessive gunfire. Fortunately, Fat Shark has the perfect solution. Don't find cover, be the cover. Introducing the trusty Aurochs Mark III Slab Shield, a handy piece of kit to ensure your survival amidst gunfire. Oh, it comes with a battle maul as well, but we don't really talk about that. As you can tell, the blocking action raises the shield up to block any and all frontal attacks, range and melee. While the special have you slam the shield down into the ground and hunker down, making you practically immovable. Offensive wise, the light combo usually isn't too interesting since the damage isn't good on its own. The real damage instead comes from the heavy combo. First strike is a punch with the rim, capable of ignoring most armor types, and the second sweep knocks away any human-sized heretics off their feet. A good thing to note is the block cancel. Heavy punch, block, repeat. Block between each heavy punch and the game will reset the heavy combo, allowing you to keep punching instead of continuing the heavy combo. This makes dealing with carapace special so much easier since the shield's heavy attack does a lot of damage, and you don't have to worry about the attack getting blocked by carapace. Other than that, get the Attention Seeker skill. Any attack you block will aggro the attacker, and if you block a shot, the shooter will try to melee you instead of shooting you again, turning a ranged threat into a melee one. Just be aware that this does not apply to gunners and reapers. They'll just keep shooting. Aside from that, I recommend trying it out with Slam and Batter skill to make the light combo somewhat useful. Blessing wise, Brutal Momentum and Offensive Defense are my go-to blessings for being versatile, but if you like to be more aggressive, replace Offensive Defense with Opportunist. Alright, with that comes the end of the... Oh wait, I just got a trailer sent to me. Oh, blessed be the Emperor.